Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Interview. I'm Sean Aylmer. In the run-up to Christmas, most of us like getting things into order in our professional lives. It might be achieving a task or two before the holiday break, hitting a sales target, something like that. But for small business operators this year, the run-up to Christmas is looking just a touch dreary, with an average of 8.3 invoices likely to be unpaid between now and 25 December. To chat about the plight of the SME sector, I welcome Damian Greathead, the head of the Accountant and Advisor segment at Intuit QuickBooks. Damian, welcome back to Fear and Greed.
Thanks so much for having me, Sean.
So, I said dreary. That's probably a touch unfair, really. 8.3 invoices likely to be unpaid. Why so many, or is that normal?
Well, you think about the numbers that we're seeing, Sean, and 23% of the respondents from the survey that QuickBooks conducted, they said that's worse than last year. So we certainly are seeing more small, medium-sized businesses waiting longer to get paid coming into the holiday season.
Why do you think that is?
I think there's a couple of reasons. I'm sure a lot of small businesses are waiting for their customers to pay them so that they can then pay their own suppliers. I think the other thing that's happening is small business owners are busy and staying on top of the admin that's associated with billing, with invoicing, with paying suppliers. That's very time consuming if you don't have the right tools in place. And so that's really somewhere that I think small businesses can look at to help get on top of this problem.
Okay, so you sort of answered the next question there. How can small businesses get on top of the problem so they can be better at admin, but maybe, if they pay their own invoices, and I'm not dissing small businesses here, but something you said is often they're waiting to be paid before they can pay. Kind of if everyone decided to pay on time, that'd be a good thing, wouldn't it?
It'd be a good thing, but unfortunately, it's not as easy as said. I would encourage small businesses to make sure that they're working with an accountant and a bookkeeper to really understand what's happening in their cash flow. Obviously, small businesses are vital to the Australian economy. They contribute more than $500 billion to our annual GDP. The research showed that about 29% of small, medium-sized businesses are talking to an accountant or bookkeeper once a year at tax time or at BAS time. And I think there's a real opportunity for these small businesses to tap into the expertise of their accountant or their bookkeeper throughout the year so they can better plan their cash flow and to make sure they got the right processes in place to collect from their customers as well.
It's funny, I run a couple of small businesses, Damian, and I spend money on accountants. And while I might gripe when I pay the bill, never is it poorly spent, because it is quite remarkable, and my accountant is also my bookkeeper, or they have someone doing the books. It is amazing that you can actually save money if you are on top of that, or at least you are talking to your accountant regularly.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, Sean. Accountants and bookkeepers can not only help you stay compliant, but they can also help you understand your numbers. They have this knack of being able to interpret those columns of numbers and tell a story, which can help keep you on track and can help you achieve those goals that you set out to achieve each year. The other thing I think accountants and bookkeepers are really helpful at is making sure that business owners have the right tools in place to manage the administration of their business. Just like a plumber or an electrician has his toolkit that he or she use on an ongoing basis to do the job, we've also got to make sure that we've got the right tools in place for the business administration, making sure that the accountant or the bookkeeper gets everything that they need, making sure that the business owner can invoice on the go, can pay bills on the go, to free up people's time from many paper full tasks that are in place in some of those small businesses around the country. So talk to your accountant, talk to your bookkeeper about both the numbers, but also the tools that you're using to manage the business.
Stay with me, Damian, and we'll be back in a minute. My guest today is Damian Greathead from Intuit QuickBooks. Is it getting harder to run a business today? 2/3 of small businesses from your survey take work home. Is that more than normal? Is the technology such and the accounting software such that parts of it are easier? I'm just sort of trying to get a feel for that.
What we're seeing, Sean, is personal time is being encroached upon. So the research showed that nearly 7 in 10 small business owners are admitting eating into their precious personal time to get on top of the business admin, be that at evenings during the week or whilst the kids are on the weekend activities, extracurricular activities. On-the-go business admin is a struggle. And what that means to me is people have apps, people have had technology, but they may not be using it correctly. And so that's why I think it's really important that they speak to their accountant or bookkeeper to make sure that they're using the tools correctly. Make sure that they're able to invoice on the go. So once they complete a job, they can get that invoice directly to their customer so that the customer can then pay that as quickly as possible. The sooner we invoice our customers, the sooner we're likely to be paid. Having a pay now button sitting on that invoice means that we're more likely to be paid promptly. And so those types of processes, administrative processes, are really important to freeing up this time that I think business owners are spending in the evenings and on the weekends doing the billing and sending of invoices to their customers.
If companies aren't paying invoices and small businesses are being affected, where are they getting the money to pay their invoices? I mean, you said some have been delayed. I get that, but there's still a bunch of small businesses that need to pay bills even if they haven't been paid.
The scary thing here, Sean, is the financial strain is affecting almost half of SMBs. 46% of SMBs are being impacted due to unpaid invoices ahead of the festive season. Scarily, almost a third of SMBs, 32%, report that they're having to go to their own personal funds to cover cash shortfalls when paying suppliers or even paying employees at payroll time.
Okay, so 2023. What's different about this year? What are the key things that we're finding hardest this year? And the second part of this question, are we actually back to our pre-COVID ways, or, we learnt from COVID?
I think it depends on the industry. We went out and spoke to our advisor community, so the bookkeepers and accountants who are experts in QuickBooks, and what they're seeing in their small business client base. And there's still a lot of recovery following COVID. This is coupled with the current cost of living crisis and economic uncertainty. It's created something of a perfect storm where customers may be delaying that payment due to their own cash flow challenges. And I think, as I said, it depends on the industry. Hospitality industry is still struggling to recover. The shift to working from home has impacted the number of people coming into our cities during the week, and whether or not they're going to cafes or restaurants at lunch or after work for happy hour. And plus, the current cost of living concern is also a factor in how much people are still going out. On the flip side, many industries that our advisors support have bounced back. Technology, construction, and healthcare, they're very positive. So it all depends on the industries which we're operating in. Some have recovered much better following COVID, whereas others are still struggling.
So the key takeaway from this interview, Damian Greathead from Intuit QuickBooks, if I'm a small business and I'm thinking, I'm really struggling to get people to pay me, I'm really struggling to pay on time, I've got cash flow issues, what's the takeaway for them?
The takeaway for them is get in contact with your bookkeeper or your accountant and ask if they can help you put together a cash flow plan. Have a look at the incomings and the outgoings and put a plan together to make sure that any shortfalls are on the horizon. Once we know we might be in the red, then we can have a conversation about how we can cover that. Can we ask some of our customers to pay us more promptly? Then we might also look at some of our processes to help that payment process, that payment cycle be shortened. So I think the takeaway is talk to your accountant or bookkeeper. And if you don't have an accountant or bookkeeper, you can certainly find a QuickBooks expert on our website. So you can find a pro advisor near you that can help you get that cash flow plan set up.
Damian, thank you for talking to Fear and Greed.
Absolute pleasure, Sean. Thanks for having me.
That was Damian Greathead from Intuit QuickBooks. This is the Fear and Greed Business Interview. Join us every morning for the full episode of Fear and Greed, Australia's best business podcast. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.